The night pressed in, cold and suffocating, as Aanya stood on a nameless cliff's edge. The world behind her had faded into shadow, leaving only the endless drop and the unknown before her. She could feel the weight of the darkness, heavy and unyielding, as if the night itself was watching. Below, a sea of white fog churned, hiding everything in darkness. The ground vanished beneath the mist, swallowing the world whole. It was impossible to tell where the earth ended and the sky began. Each breath stung like ice. Her heart pounded with terror. The cold air clawed at her lungs, and her hands trembled uncontrollably. She was utterly alone, the silence humming through the rocks beneath her feet. Every sound was amplified, every heartbeat echoing in the emptiness. Her phone flickered, 1% battery, then died, plunging her into absolute blackness. The last connection to the outside world vanished in an instant, leaving her stranded in the void. Panic stabbed through her. She was lost, disconnected from the world. The realization hit her like a wave. No one knew where she was, and no one was coming. The fog crept closer, damp and ghostly, whispering secrets she feared to understand. It seemed alive, curling around her legs, reaching for her with invisible fingers. Every direction was the same, a wall of mist, reality slipping away. The world she knew was dissolving, replaced by a maze of shadows and uncertainty. Aanya, once a brave traveler, now felt trapped. This was no adventure. The thrill of exploration had turned to dread, and her courage was slipping away with the light. She stepped back from the edge, boots slipping on mossy stone. The ground felt unstable, as if it might give way at any moment. A distant branch cracked. She froze. The sound was sharp, unnatural, and it cut through the silence like a warning. She was not alone. Something or someone was out there, hidden by the fog. The thought chilled her to the bone. Fear crawled up her spine, and she dared not move or even breathe. The night silence became a symphony of fear, every shadow a threat, every whisper of wind a warning that the unknown was closer than she dared imagine. Just yesterday, Aanya had boarded a rickety bus to a village not found on any map. The conductor's vacant stare unsettled her as the bus climbed into misty hills. Passengers sat in silence, eyes fixed ahead, as the city faded behind them. Roads turned to dirt tracks, swallowed by dense forest and rolling fog. Her phone lost signal. The world outside vanished into white. The bus finally stopped. The conductor pointed into the fog. "The village is that way." As she stepped off, the bus disappeared, its red lights fading into the mist. Alone, Aanya stood in the profound silence of the forest. The journey had become a passage into the unknown. There was no turning back. Only the fog and the waiting woods remained. She walked forward, heart pounding. Aanya followed the path to a clearing where a nameless village waited. Wooden huts huddled together, smoke curling from a few chimneys. Villagers moved slowly, faces blank, eyes averted. An old woman led Aanya to a candlelit room. No questions, no welcome. Night fell. The village drowned in darkness and fog. Aanya sat by the window, unable to write, dread knotting in her stomach. The silence was watchful, oppressive. Dinner arrived wordlessly. Every sound made her jump. She finished her meal, blew out the candle, and lay down fully clothed. The darkness pressed in, thick and absolute. She listened to the night, sleep eluding her. Aanya was jolted awake by a soft, insistent knock echoing through the silence of her room. Her heart pounded as she strained to listen, the darkness pressing in from all sides. In the doorway stood an old woman, her face half lit by the trembling candle she held. "You should not have come here," she whispered, her voice barely more than a breath, yet heavy with warning. "This place is not for the living. The forest remembers," she continued, her eyes flickering with something ancient and sorrowful, as if she carried the weight of countless secrets. Without waiting for a reply, the woman turned and melted into the shadows, her candle's glow swallowed by the endless dark. Shaken, Aanya crept to the window, her hands trembling as she pulled back the curtain and peered out into the night. In the clearing beyond, villagers stood in a silent, unbroken circle around a gnarled ancient tree. Their faces were upturned, eyes wide and unblinking, bodies eerily motionless. There was no ritual, no chanting, just a chilling, collective stillness that seemed to swallow all sound and movement. A wave of wrongness washed over her. Every instinct screamed that she was witnessing something forbidden, something not meant for mortal eyes. The moon was hidden behind thick clouds, leaving the world in near total darkness. Only scattered candles flickered, their flames casting long, dancing shadows across the ground. Terror rooted her in place. She could not look away, her body frozen as if the night itself held her captive. The villagers remained statuesque, bound by an unseen force, their silence more terrifying than any scream. Anya's fear grew with every passing second, her breath coming in shallow, ragged gasps as she clutched the windowsill for support. She was a prisoner to the night's secrets, trapped between the world she knew and the ancient darkness that now surrounded her, unable to escape the whispers in the dark. At dawn, Aanya resolved to leave. The village was deserted, fog thicker than ever. Paths she'd seen before had vanished, only dense forest remained. Her compass spun wildly, useless. Panic rising, she checked her phone, charging it desperately. The photo she'd taken of the path was now blurred, a shadowy figure standing where none had been. Maps showed only a blank expanse. Banpur did not exist. Technology failed her. She was trapped. The forest, the compass, the photos, all whispered the same truth. You are not supposed to be here. You cannot leave. Dread settled in her bones. She was utterly alone. From the swirling fog, an old man emerged, lantern in hand, his eyes heavy with a sorrow that seemed to weigh down his entire being. The light from his lantern flickered, casting long, trembling shadows across the forest floor, as if the darkness itself recoiled from his presence. Every step he took was slow, deliberate, as though he carried the burden of countless years and untold stories. "You seek a way out," he rasped, his voice echoing through the mist like a warning from another world. "There is none, not for you, not for any who wander here." He handed her a brittle, yellowed newspaper. Its headline screamed, "Entire village of Banpur wiped out in massive landslide." The paper trembled in her hands, as if it too remembered the horror. The date was 50 years ago. The photo showed utter devastation, crushed homes, broken trees, and a silence that seemed to seep from the image itself. "Banpur was destroyed," the old man said, his voice barely more than a whisper. "What you see is only a memory, an echo that lingers long after the living have gone." The village, the people, the old woman she'd met, they were all remnants of a tragedy, shadows clinging to the ruins of what once was. "Sometimes travelers wander in," he continued, his eyes distant. "You see us, but we are not here. We are only the past repeating itself in the mist." He folded the paper with trembling hands, then pointed back the way she'd come, his gesture both a warning and a plea. "The road will appear," he said softly. "Leave now. Do not look back, no matter what you hear or see." His words unlocked her prison, breaking the invisible chains that had held her in this haunted place. The truth shattered her reality, leaving her breathless and trembling as the world she thought she knew dissolved around her. She was standing in a ghost's memory, surrounded by echoes of sorrow and loss, the weight of the past pressing in from every side. Escape was possible, if she dared. Heart pounding, she turned to run, the mist swirling at her heels, desperate to leave the haunted village behind forever. Anya ran, not daring to look back. The path emerged from the mist, leading her away from the haunted village. She reached the roadside, trembling, waiting in silence. At last, the old bus appeared, its door hissing open. The conductor's vacant eyes met hers. She boarded in silence. The journey back was a blur. She was the only passenger. Tears streamed down her face, fear, relief, grief for Banpur's lost souls. The bus descended from the hills, leaving the fog behind. Town noise greeted her, but she felt changed, displaced. She stepped onto solid ground, a survivor of an unbelievable story. As she walked away, a ghostly whisper followed. "Beta, yahan kab gaya tha." The mountains kept their secrets. Anya would never forget. Subscribe Nogofly for more videos.